And we are live. How are you? There may have been a little bit of delay. Um, but we're here, right? So how are you today? How are you this weekend? You see it as a spiritual space, especially when you're being attacked, especially when things are not going and people are coming out of the woodworks and want to try to hurt you and do things to you. Definitely spiritual. So, and the same token, when things are going wonderfully well, and you're getting what you want, and life is just beautiful. So, again, your spirituality is working for you. So, just keep that in mind. Next time that you're dealing with something, not to just worry about it as if it's just something that is spiritual, but sometimes we have to um, stretch the mind a little bit further than it may be willing to, or a little bit further than it may already is, just so you could get to the bottom of where you need to get to. The other thing I had in mind is sometimes we have to learn to come down and learn how to agree with ourselves, learn how to have productive conversation with ourselves without having to beat up on ourselves, without having to abuse ourselves or argue with ourselves, constantly arguing and to be like, no, you're not right, and like in a very unproductive way. you know Sometimes you can argue with yourself, just like you can argue with your partner, your friends, your family, your whoever else in your life. um but there's a way to argue about something. If something is not working out, hey, listen, I don't think this was a good deal. I don't think you plugged it the right way. It doesn't seem to work. Versus, what is wrong with you? You never get it right. What is the matter with? That's two different ways to approach something, or to approach the same thing. So definitely find a way to have better communication with yourself. When you're in the bathroom, no one is watching, and um, instead of saying, "Oh wow, look at you, look at all the progress you made, look how beautiful you are, look how beautiful your body is," instead you want to worry about other things. Oh my gosh, look at all the stretch mark. Look how big this is. Look how skinny this is. No, stretch marks are like the sun on your body. They're like, someone said, like lightnings. you know Stretch marks to me just a confirmation that you've been some places to life. It means that you should have some wisdom to share. You have wisdom to share. You might be shy about it, but definitely you have wisdom to share. It means that you may have, bring someone or many ones to life. It means that you may have cared for someone or people in your life. It means that you might not care only for yourself. You care for yourself and for so many other people in your life. It could be people it could be strangers, because as I say it initially, you're probably like, oh, I don't have kids, I don't have family here, I don't know. It could be just the homeless next door that you keep bringing food to. It could be, someone that while you're driving down the road, every time you always make sure to have a couple dollars to give them. This is caring, you know? So don't beat up on yourself. Another thing, I was having this conversation with someone, was about freckles. I thought they were so cute. When people have freckles, they have freckles all around here. I thought it was I don't know. It ever since I was a little girl. I just thought freckles were so beautiful. As you can see, I have sign here and I think I have a couple on the sign on the side. But I don't have freckles. But I thought people who had freckles, I thought they were like the most beautiful people ever. And only to find out, as I grew up here, and people hated freckles. And I'm like, really? Because, like, even when you were reading in books, kids that would get in trouble or something, and they would be like, the one with the freckles would be like, don't do it, or the one in the freckles will be the one causing the trouble, like stuff like that. Like, it's just something like, even reading books, I've always liked seeing kids, people with freckles. It's a personal thing. I don't know why. Maybe I had freckles in my previous life, and I want to like make an excuse for it if that's what it is. But yeah, it's just like learn to have better conversation with yourself. Learn to appreciate yourself because all the things that you may try to complain about, just imagine if they were not here. Just imagine you complain about, oh my god, my legs are so big, they're so skinny. If you didn't have them, would you be better off? My head is so big, my head is so skinny, my neck is so, if you didn't have them, would you be better off? Sometimes you may have to think that way. You may have to think that way, you may have to think, if I did not have this, would I be better off? you know you complain about, oh, my nose is too skinny, my nose is too thin, my nose is too pointy. Another one is complaining, my nose is too big, my nose is too, but the bigger your nose, the better it is for you to breathe, the easier it is. You don't have to complain when everybody else is like, can't breathe in a smaller place, but you can suck up all the air. They might have to borrow some from you. So, admire the different parts of your body. Enjoy the conversations with yourself instead of the ones that were you beating. I mean, you could argue with yourself so harshly. You could beat yourself so bad that, I mean, no one wants to talk to you. And you wonder why people don't want to talk to you. It's not because people don't want to talk to you, it's because you beat yourself so much. By the time you get out there and people see you, you look so tired, they don't even want to bother you. You know? So be kind to yourself. Have some nice conversation about with yourself. Hey, how you doing, beautiful? I hope you had a good day. I know it was a tough one, but you're so smart. That's what I love about you. Look how you got out of this trouble. You always know, you always so resourceful. You always know how to help others. Look how you help this lady. Look how you help her out of her trouble. Look at how you help this guy over there. He was hopeless. He thought he wasn't gonna make it. And look, you came into the situation and it's like the sun just came down. So, you know, or came up, however you see it. I guess I love seeing the sunset, so I just keep that in mind. Came up or down, whichever one that you prefer. So, that's kind of like how you have to see it. When you have the conversations with yourself, have good conversation with yourself. And when you have good conversation with yourself, other people will have good conversations with you too. And as I said, sometimes people don't talk to you. It's not because they don't want to, but it's just because you've beaten on yourself so hard that when people see you, you look so tired, you look so fed up that they don't want to bother you. You're thinking like, oh my god, I mean, she must have came from like 2 3 jobs. I don't want to like bother her. Oh my god. Look at her. She looks like she's been through. Look at him. What happened to him? And to you, you're not seeing it because you're so good. You're so easily beating on yourself. You're so good at it that it's effortless. You know, you do it so much, it's effortless. You don't even have to do too much to beat on yourself anymore. So we have to reframe how we talk to our own selves. So you have to reframe how you talk to yourself, and then eventually people can reframe how they talk to you. The way that people talk to you is not only because this is how they talk to you, but it is also this is how you talk to yourself. So reframe how you talk to yourself so you don't have to deal with these craziness anymore. So you don't have to deal with having to defend yourself, not only to yourself, but you have to defend yourself to others. All right, clear? Got it? Copy? You heard me? You hear me? I hope so. Okay, so yeah. And and sometimes, there are so many good things that you desire in life, but sometimes you don't get them and you wonder why. Well, you don't get them because you're afraid to get it. Someone who asks, who says, like, I want okay, I want a new car. But at the same token, this person won't stop talking about, oh my God, they're so expensive. I don't want to have to deal with payments every month. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to deal with that. But at the same token, at the same token, someone just but sometimes it just turn on by itself too. I guess maybe we have a ghost. Hmm. So yeah, let me make sure I don't lose my train of thoughts. Okay, so you say you want a brand new car. You want that brand new car, but at the same token, you won't stop talking about how you don't want to have to deal with the bill. You don't have to deal with higher insurance. You don't want to have to deal with. But if you want better, you're gonna have to do better. You have to do bigger. If you want a house, you can't stay in an apartment and say you want a house. And every time a house comes, you stay in your apartment and you never go back to the house. And then you just want to talk about, oh yeah, I have a house over there, but why you here? It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, you have a house, then go live in it. Why are you here? So constantly, you just have to be careful when you say you want something. When you say, what is it? Yeah, I'm aware. I heard it. So, okay, just take it out. Let me record. You know. So, yeah, when you desire something, when you want something, you have to make some of a sacrifice and say, okay, you know what? We live in a one bedroom. It's the 10 of us. It's hopefully not, but it happens sometimes, you know. And now you say, okay, we're going to start saving. We're not going to eat meat anymore. We're not going to eat seafood. We're not going to eat this. We're not going to eat that. You know, just so you could save up money. We're not going to be able to go to the movies anymore unless it's free and you get to watch it at home. You know, you try to do everything you can to save more and more money. And then you keep looking at your plans and say, okay, we're almost there. We're almost at 10,000, so we can have the down payment. Okay, we almost at 15. We'll have an extra. So you just gotta keep working on it. When you want and desire something, write it down. Talk to yourself about it And I don't mean beat yourself about it. I said talk to yourself. Talk to yourself about it so you guys can plan out, okay, what can I do? What else can I do? What else can I add to this? How else can I fix this? You just keep on coming up with plans, coming up with positive ways that you can reach your goal, you can reach your plan, you can reach everything that you set out to do. You don't want to be one of these people that just keep on talking about things that never happen. No, you want to have it happen, you want to make it happen. So you want to talk about it, and you want to take actions about it, and you want to write about it. You want to write it in your journal. You want to write what you set out to do, what you want to do. And you might not know how you're gonna go about it, but you just think you're gonna make efforts towards it. Maybe you are at a job where you're not even making enough to pay everything, and it's difficult for you to save. It's very hard because you're already stretching everything that you have, so you don't see how you're gonna save. But guess what? You can sit down and have a plan and say, where else can I get? What else can I do to save, even if it's like $10 a week, you know, even $10 a month? It doesn't matter. As long as you take action, you're doing something. All right. So speak positivity into you. Don't fight yourself as though you can't do it. You might as well quit. You might as well forget it. You're silly for thinking that. Oh my God, no. Speak positivity into yourself. Speak good into yourself. Speak greatness into yourself. Remember that you can do it. Remember that you are able. As long as you think it, then it can happen. As long as you think positive about it, of course it can happen. But if you think that you cannot, then you can't. That's just the way it goes. If you think that you are able, you can, okay, you will. But if you think you can't, you can't. Who am I to convince you that you can? I can share some ideas with you, but if you really believe that you can't, I can't convince you. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, I can't really convince you. Eventually, you can use my words to convince yourself, but I can't convince you, and nobody can convince you. Even if you think that someone may have convinced you, no, you convinced yourself. You used your word, you used their words, you used their experience, you used their stories, you use their analogies, you use their knowledge, their food for thought, and you understand. You're like, okay, now it's making sense. Maybe I should, maybe I could, maybe I can. But other than that, I mean, you have to convince yourself. As a man think, so is he. As a man believe. As a man, whatever a man keeps in his mind all the time, that's what that man is going to be. If on your head, in your mind all the time, you're thinking that you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a doctor. Well, guess what you're gonna be? You're gonna be a doctor. But if you keep thinking negativity, and I don't even like to repeat them, I just want to call them negative because I don't want that to come out of my mouth and my mind to confuse, between the reality and the example that I'm giving you. So just keep your mind positive. No matter what you're going through, don't wait for circumstances to change for you to change your mind. Learn to change your mind by yourself. Learn to change your mind because that's the right thing to do. Change your mind because that's who you are becoming. Change your mind because you realize that you can do better. Change your mind because deep inside of you, you just recognize yourself. You just looked in the mirror and you just saw something different than you have not seen before. This is something new. You really are getting to becoming, you know? You're getting to be greater. You are growing, you are rising, you know? So Don't get distracted by little things, little bumps on the road. Don't let situations, circumstances, don't wait for them to change. Don't wait for them to be perfect just so you could get about where you need to, just so you could change to the path, to the route that you need to get on. No, that's not how it goes. You need to make up your mind. You need to decide and say, you know what? I've been doing this and it hasn't worked out for me. So I'm changing my idea and I'm going to be doing this instead. From now on, you've been smoking, and how's that working for you? Perhaps it hasn't. Maybe it has caused cancer. Maybe it has caused your other folks in your environment to get sick as well. So now what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit around and just let it play the way it is? Um, Charger, of course. You know how these things are. um you know so what are you gonna do about it? You gonna sit around and wait until things are perfect for you to be happy, or you gonna be happy regardless of what's going on? That's just the way it is. you know Circumstances are there and they always are going to be there. Circumstances are just a part of life. They're a part of life. You went to sleep happy, and by the time you woken up, there was a fire in the building, and people got hurt. You got hurt. What are you going to do? Because you were happy last night, and now here you are this morning, waking up in the hospital. Don't even recognize yourself. Don't even know what's going on. What you gonna do? Last week you were partying, everything was perfect. But this week they knocked on your door and told you that you had no money and you can't stay here anymore. It seems that your payments were declined. You can't stay here. You have to go. So what do you do? What do you do? You sit down and cry. You wait for a savior to come. You're gonna sit back and wait for a rescuer to come. Or you're going to shake it off and say, you know what, and this too shall pass. This is what happened today, but I knew how yesterday was. I had a great time, and I don't know where this came from. So I know this too shall pass, because tomorrow I should be happy. If not tomorrow, then the day after. If not the day after, then the day after, the day after. You just keep on thinking positive. It's like no matter what happened, it tries to kill your spirit, and you just keep on boosting up your spirit. You just keep on thinking positive. It's like no matter what happens, every time they think that your spirit's gonna die and you're just gonna give up, and you just hold on even tighter than you did before. And sometimes that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You just keep on holding tighter, because sometimes that's what people forget how to do. They forget how to holding on tight and tighter even when things are not going their ways. It's like sometimes things happen, we become so worried, we become so somewhat scared that we let the situation take over our lives. That's not the way it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. You can do it. You can manage to do it. You can manage to do better. You have that greatness inside of you. You have all this talent. You have all this power. It's just a matter of giving yourself some time to grow, giving yourself to recognize that you have that within you, and giving yourself the credits, because sometimes we have so much going on inside, and we are so good at things, and we don't tell ourselves how good we are at the thing. We wait for people to tell us how good we are. If you're good at singing, listen, there's nothing wrong with reminding yourself. Sometimes we call that, you clapping for your own self, like you're supposed to wait for people to clap for you. No, clap for yourself. You know, if you rise up this morning or before you go to bed and you there's this song, sometimes a song just come into your heart and you just want to share it. And then as you sung it, you're like, wow, it's like I sung this better than I ever did before. So say, wow, girl, you are good, man. You are good. You can sing. Yes. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we gotta learn to applaud our own selves. And sometimes this is what delay our blessings because we keep on sitting back and waiting for people to clap for us. And when they don't clap, we become disappointed. We start saying all these, things that are they just jealous? They just haters. They're just this. And we start thinking all this negativity that the people probably were not even thinking. The people probably thought you sung so good and they wanted to tell you. But sometimes every time they see you, you're like this. Because you're thinking they're your enemies. So you're never really leaving up a door for them to talk to you. You never allowed them an opportunity to talk to you. So anytime they see you, they just like, okay. And they just keep it moving. But in your head, you're forming them as an enemy. You're seeing everything you see is an enemy. Everybody you cross is an enemy, is a hater. So then they eventually become that. Remember that everything that happens first starts here. Everything that's concocting around the world first starts here. You could hear that people are building things to go to space, to go to different countries and continents and all kind of other things, submarines to go under the water. Everything was concocting here first. Because if it's not here, it's very hard to get it on paper. To get it on paper, you're forcing yourself to get it out. But if you get it here first, everything else is easy. It's like nothing. So you have to talk to yourself positively. You have to make it okay to um to clap for yourself because sometimes people may forget to clap for you. So you may have to be the one to clap for yourself. And that's okay too. And don't think that everybody you meet is an enemy. People are not even seeing you that way. Sometimes people are seeing you as amazing, gorgeous, smart, intelligent, but you keep doing those self-sabotage every time someone want to do something nice for you and you just keep on sabotaging yourself. You just think they want something from me. That's what. No, sometimes people are nice. People are nice. People just want to give you a ride. People just want to hand over something they no longer use. It's not like they always want something from you. So pretty much that's the food for thought for you tonight. That's your half hour. This was just like, some ways to just break down different state of minds that we have, that we may not even recognize them, we may not even know they're there, but they are. So this is your Reverend Dr. Brazil. Always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you learned something. Hope you share with somebody. All right. Until next time, peace and blessings. All right. Be good to yourself.